In information age, people are often skillfully handled and controlled by something or someone. People are often attracted to something by the influence of some popular names, brands of product, and even artists in the industry. This is all because of one thing, and that is the manipulative media. Today, we will serve the hottest plate about the manipulative media and how does it contribute to media and information. This is part of the table. It's another beautiful day in the University of Makati. Some students are busy talking to each other and some are busy studying. Miss Bebs is on her way to her next class in 1201 Limelight. She is a professor in the subject Media and Information Literacy. Today, she will be discussing a very interesting topic that her students will surely be at.
Good day, 1201 Limelight. Our topic for today is about manipulative information and media. A picture is shown on your screen. Can anyone guess what term best describes the image? Seems like my students are silent today. Manipulation is the word that best describes the picture. Manipulation is defined as the skillful handling, controlling, or using of something or someone. Allow me to show you an example of manipulation. Advertisement is an example of deception. It will persuade you to purchase at a cheaper price even though you do not require the product on offer. From the word manipulation, we can already think what manipulative media is. So, manipulative media is a tool that is used to aid hands-on learning. It is used to formulate new information to aid learning through the use of analysis, evaluation, and production. There are several forms of manipulative media to consider. One of the examples is a geared clock. The geared clock will help students to tell what time is it already, right? Now, let's talk about interactivity. Interactivity is defined as a process of communication between computer software and humans. The most common form of interactivity is found in an online games, in which you, as a gamer, have interaction with the computer. Database application and other financial engineering and trading applications are also typically very interactive. Last meeting, I have mentioned that there will be a reporting about several topics under manipulative media. I hope the assigned reporters are ready for today. You may start.
A pleasant day to everyone. I'm Cyan. Today we are going to discuss about the brief history of manipulative media. Let me introduce to you Johann Heinrich Pestalozzi. He is a Swiss pedagogue, or simply a Swiss educator, and also an educational reformer that brought great educational reforms in Europe in the 19th century. He is also known as the father of modern education, as he emphasized teaching methods designed to strengthen the student's own abilities. Thus, he developed the Pestalozzi method that encourages hands-on learning or manipulation as a tool. Pestalozzi believed that education should develop the powers of head, heart, and hands, giving us his slogan, "Learning by head, heart, and hands." This time, let's get to know Friedrich Wilhelm August Froebel. He is a German educator who also happens to be a former student of Johann Pestalozzi. His own difficulties as a child, combined with his experiences with Pestalozzi's educational system, were the foundation for his insights into the education of very young children. He was famous for his work in children's education, particularly the invention of the kindergarten system for young children. Thus, he was called the father of kindergarten. He recognized the importance of play in order to allow the children's creativity to unfold and blossom. He created Frobel gifts or educational toys that target creativity. It included geometric building blocks and pattern activity blocks that we're very familiar with.
Hi, I'm Judy. Now, I would like to introduce you to Maria Tecla Artemisia Montessori, an Italian physician and educator who extended Froebel's ideas by developing materials for older children and inspiring a network of schools, in which manipulative materials or Montessori materials play a central role. In an effort to create an education of the senses, Montessori developed new materials and activities to help children develop their sensory capabilities. Montessori hoped that her materials would put children in control of the learning process, enabling them to learn through personal investigation and exploration. So the Montessori method of learning stresses the development of a child's own initiative and natural abilities, especially through practical play. Okay, now let's move on to Jean Piaget, a Swiss psychologist and philosopher who described children-specific cognitive evolutions, which emphasized the importance of practical activity in primary phases of training in knowledge. He also said that children must build knowledge first through concrete operations before proceeding to formal operations. The concrete operational stage depicts an important step in the cognitive development of children. According to him, thinking in this stage is characterized by logical operations, such as conservation, reversibility or classification, allowing logical reasoning. These mental acts cannot be applied in hypothetical situations and are still limited to concrete situations. Therefore, concrete operational thinking is examined using specific tasks depicting concrete operational concepts. So that would be all for the brief history of manipulative media. May I call on our next reporter?
Hello, good day to all of you. I'm Aliyah, and today I will be tackling about the functions of manipulative media. Manipulative materials can be almost anything: blocks, shapes, spinners, or even paper that is cut or folded that is most suitable for every learner, of course. Its primary function is to let students correlate their ideas and symbols to physical objects like puzzles or even patterns, which will promote a more excellent knowledge, or in order for them to learn easier. It can also be a means to help students solve the problem by utilizing physical models to represent their thinking or how they convey their ideas. And that wraps up for the functions of manipulative media. The next reporters may now proceed.
Hi, I'm Catherine, and now I am going to discuss the types of manipulative media, which is the traditional or concrete manipulative and digital or virtual manipulative. But first, we will be going to discuss the traditional or concrete manipulative, also known as real objects. Traditional manipulative have different definitions from different people. First, according to Clemens in 1999, most practitioners and researchers believes that traditional manipulative is effective because they are concrete. That means objects that students can grasp or hold or touch with their hands. This sensory nature ostensibly or seemingly for better understanding makes manipulative real. That is why it is called real objects. connected with one's intuitively or instinctively meaningful personal self. Second, according to Wilson, it provides children with a collection of extremely simple, abstract playthings. It encourages them to combine objects to construct more complex forms. And lastly, according to Maria Montessori, in 1967, the goal of education should be to find activities that are so intrinsically or naturally meaningful that we want to throw ourselves into them. Montessori also believed that learning is aided with deep concentration, that is, with working both the hands. And that is all for the definition of traditional or concrete manipulative. And now, we will proceed to the real object examples that will be tackled by Miss Jana.
Thank you for that introduction, Miss Kat. Now let's proceed to the example of traditional or concrete manipulative of real objects. But first, did you know that most of the real objects example is common and used in school? So without further ado, let's go to our first example. So first is the attribute blocks. This object can be used to teach sorting, patterns, and identifying attributes. The attribute block set includes 5 basic shapes with different attributes: triangle, square, rectangle, circle, and hexagon. The basic shapes are available in those different colors, 2 sizes, and 2 thicknesses. Sorting patterns and identifying attributes can all be taught using attribute blocks. The second and last example will probably give you a throwback feeling since some of teachers require us to bring this. And this is the geared blocks. It allows children to explore telling time on analog clocks and calculating elapsed time. These plastic geared blocks have hidden gears that reflect accurate hour and minute relationships. The hour and minute hands match the hour and minute marking on the clock face. Clocks allows children to experiment with telling time and calculating using analog clocks. As you can see, these are just the basic example of real objects. We also have color cubes, pattern blocks, and many more. But wait, before I end this, real objects also have advantages and disadvantages. Right, Miss Kat?
You're definitely right. There are quite a handful of advantages traditional or concrete media gives, like the following. First, it is simpler, meaning it's more movable as it is a concrete object. You can easily move it from different places according to your desires using your hands. Second, tactile experience adds a dimension of learning, meaning the sensation the child receives or felt by touch can help them open up the world and experience the environments fully. This sense of touch helps us to gather information about our surroundings and developing bonds between each other. Third, it allows the students to be more creative in selecting pieces because you can see and touch it personally. The mind can have the time and the advantage to select pieces carefully. Fourth, it allows trial and error as it is used by hands and you have the power to decide or choose. Having a trial and error won't cause malfunction to the system as it is done naturally. Fifth, it is easier to relate to real-world applications because you can feel and see it personally, and in some ways, thinking what to do next to solve the objects can help you with your decision-making skills. That is an essential part of your life. Sixth, it allows teachers to involve the whole class in an interactive lesson. Real objects are used so it is easier for the teachers to monitor them as you can see what they are doing even from afar. And seventh, students has more control because they are using their hands which they have the ability to control and decide what they want to do next, giving them the chance to decide from themselves.
Also, real objects have disadvantages since these kinds of objects are already made, which means the question and answer is already given and obvious. Some of the disadvantages are the fraction that can be used are limited. For example, you have only a few denominators. Second, because you can see the numbers and the manipulative, you might miss the concept. It also requires internal affirmation rather than exit. Fourth, there is no feedback on whether you are correct or incorrect. And not particularly difficult or challenging. It also doesn't allow you to add or subtract fractions in your head. Lastly, children focus on manipulative instead of the instruction. And that's all for the real objects. We may now proceed to the next reporter.
Hi, I'm Jill, and next type is traditional in the form of models. A three-dimensional representation of a real thing is what you call the model. It can provide learning experiences that real things cannot provide. It can be disassembled to provide interior. It can be larger or smaller than the real object that they represent. We have here the examples. For our first example, a three-dimensional depiction of human or animal anatomy used for medical and biological teaching is known as anatomical model. Different kinds of plastic materials are suitable for manufacturing anatomical models for practicing procedures. The most common material in research setting is silicone. Next in line, we have here the molecular model. It describes the synthesis, representation, and/or modification of three-dimensional structures of chemical and biological molecules, as well as the measurement of physico-chemical attributes that can aid in the interpretation of structural activity relationships of biological molecules. And lastly, we have here the play money, a metal or paper device made in obvious imitation of genuine coins or paper money, chiefly for use in play by children. Monopoly is one of the examples of board game that uses play money. And that's it for the models.
Good day everyone, I'm Vince, and for the last category of traditional or concrete media, we have here the field trip or excursion. The term field trip is known all over the schools in the world. Students and teachers find field trip is a fun and wholesome activity because it provides them new learning and discoveries. There are 6 types of field trips, and these are sightseeing field trip, language and culture educational field trip, gardening farming field trip, manufacturing faculty field trip, eco adventure field trip, and the last is business educational tour. Some examples of field trips are field trip in art museum, aquarium, TV station, zoo, farm, and many more. And that wraps up for the traditional or concrete manipulative media. For the last reporters of the class, you may now begin.
Hi, I'm AJ. Did you know that aside from the mentioned type manipulative media a while ago, digital or virtual manipulatives also exist? Now, let us define its meaning. Digital or virtual manipulatives are the computationally enhanced versions of physical objects. It is designed to expand the scope of concepts that children can explore through direct manipulation. Also, these are IT-based manipulatives which are supplement or replacement for traditional or concrete manipulatives. In other words, these are computer-based simulations of physical manipulatives that are accessed via internet or computer software. Perfect example of this are the digital applications and platforms that were utilized to provide learning experience in online or virtual classes. Also, interactive maps and educational games belong to digital or virtual manipulatives.
Let us move forward to advantages of digital or virtual manipulatives. This type of manipulative media gives immediate feedback to the user and does not require to be cleaned up. It is easier to maneuver and keep together. Plus, it helps you a lot quicker to grasp the concept being taught. Furthermore, digital or virtual manipulative offer a larger variety of experiences and allow more complex operations to be learned with plenty of available resources. Lastly, with its flexible and easy access features, it is more accessible at home than the concrete ones, especially during online classes.
However, digital or virtual manipulatives have disadvantages too. First, it may limit the teacher's ability to follow the student's thought processes. It has a tendency that users do not really find the answers on their own because some computers do the work for them, so they were able to guess the correct answers due to the multiple resources being supplied. Moreover, users sometimes take the technology for granted and do not obtain a full understanding as to why a problem is solved a certain way. The essence of hands and mind to work together in the process of learning are being disregarded. Lastly, you cannot actually touch them, which leaves the users of do versus learn or explore feeling. And that's all for digital or virtual manipulation.
Alright, thank you so much for today, class. See you on our next meeting. Class dismissed. Good day, 1202 Fanfare. Last meeting, I have mentioned that there will be a reporting about several topics under manipulative media. I hope the assigned reporters are ready for today. You may start.
I prefer concrete manipulatives, also known as traditional manipulatives, because it engages real objects in learning. It helps people, especially children, in developing their mind to think critically and to be more reasonable. It is good in enhancing someone's capacity to memorize and categorize objects. Also, concrete manipulatives is less expensive in a way that it does need objects that can be done through recycling, and it's less hassle. It is simpler because it only needs objects, and learning can be done at home with the supervision of an individual, may it be parents or other person involved. The great thing here is that it requires more thinking. Then people, or let's say students, will learn more about things they want to know. It is a good thing to know more about concrete manipulatives. People can't learn in virtual because they can touch them. As a result, they are unaware of the feeling or are unfamiliar with it. In virtual, the computer would be the one that works with students, causing people to not think. They can get the answer with a single click and can guess the right answer without having to think about it. Since technology is overused right now, people are still taking it for granted and do not fully comprehend that a problem is solved in a certain way.
Virtual manipulatives are preferable to concrete manipulatives in my opinion. Virtual manipulatives are computer-based simulations of physical manipulatives that can be accessed through the internet or computer software. The virtual manipulatives are a huge benefit to me as a person who is very interested in technology. Here in virtual, it is a fun learning tool, particularly for people who enjoy playing games because they learn quickly while playing. Everyone gets excited when they use the computer, particularly for today's kids, so they become more interested. It is more effective for teachers to use virtual manipulatives in education, which have become very useful now there is a pandemic. We don't have to clear up the mess because it will clear itself with a single press. And last, virtual manipulatives can be accessed from home. To sum it all, manipulative media can be both traditional and digital.
It is a very important tool in learning because it stimulates a lot of senses and produces a better learning experience.
Good day, everyone! As Miss Beverly Polintan tackle about what is interactive media, now I am going to share to you our next topic, which is the different platforms of interactive media. But before that, Thank you for being here today. My name is Mia Nicole Ibay. Different platforms of interactive media. Our first platform is mobile apps. Mobile apps is a software application developed specifically for use on small wireless computing devices, such as smartphones and tablets, rather than desktop or laptop computers. Examples are weather app, location or map app, news app, Play Store or Google Play, and App Store. These forms of interactive media can help you figure out the weather, direct you to the desired location, choose and respond to news stories in which you are interested, and allow you to shop. The possibilities are endless. For our second platform, it is the 3D TV, a television display technology that enables a three-dimensional effect so that viewers perceive that an image has depth as well as height and width, similar to objects in the real world. Our third platform is video games, a game played by electronically, manipulating images produced by a computer program on a television screen or other display screen. Players use controllers to respond to visual and sound cues on the screen that are generated by a computer program. Multiplayer games allow two or more players to play with one. Examples are Mobile Legends, Call of Duty, and Fortnite. For our fourth platform, role-playing games, a game in which players take on the roles of imaginary characters when engaging in adventures, typically in a particular computerized fantasy setting, overseen by a referee. Examples are Final Fantasy, Genshin Impact, and Assassin's Creed.
Fifth one is massively multiplayer online role-playing game. Any story-driven online video game in which a player, taking on the persona of a character in a virtual or fantasy world, interacts with a large number of other players. Examples are World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, The Elder Scrolls Online, Final Fantasy XIV, and RuneScape. So, massively multiplayer online role-playing game is a video game that takes place in a persistent state world, with thousands or even millions of players developing their characters in a role-playing environment. Christine Aptayco reported the different platform of interactive media together with me and Nicole Ibay. Thank you for lending your ears to us. Have a good day, everyone.
Now that we have learned about the different platforms of interactive media, let us now talk about the different ways of interacting with the internet.
But before we start, may I ask you a question? Did you know that the internet offers a plethora of options for sharing information? For further discussions, you will know what are they. Take it away, Prince.
Alright, thank you very much, Era. But first, let us know what does interacting with the internet means. So basically, when we use the internet to do a variety of activities, we are already interacting with it. Why? Because interaction, according to the dictionary, is a reciprocal action or influence. When we use the internet, we influence it to function and process the things that we like to do. And in return, it also influences us by changing our perspectives, thoughts, and beliefs, and even our habits regarding our own lives, our own selves, and many other aspects. This is because through our interaction with the internet, we see, we discover, learn, relate, and witness a lot of different things that can influence us mentally, physically, emotionally, and even spiritually. So it is really very important for all of us to learn how we can appropriately and responsibly interact with the internet. So without further ado, let us now begin enumerating the different ways of interacting with the internet. First up, we have online shopping. the most favorite activity to do for many of us nowadays. It is very relatable because regardless of gender, age, religion, and skin color, everyone surely loves to do online shopping, right? This is a type of interaction with the internet in which we compare prices, we compare features of similar items, add to cart, choose payment type, track our deliveries, and many other exciting activities that we'll surely love and enjoy. Online shopping is seen to be very relevant today in our current situation as many people are just staying at home and can't go out to buy products because of the many lockdowns being imposed by the government to the whole country. Online shopping can be fun and dangerous at the same time because there are lots of scammers, fraudsters, and many other thieves online, so be sure to always shop responsibly.
Absolutely. The second one is online gaming, and a video game that allows players to communicate with each other through the internet is referred to as online gaming. Video games can relieve tension, deep depression, boost vision, and improve the ability to do several tasks, improve decision-making skills, as well as be entertaining. All of this is attributed to online gaming. This way, you may choose the game you want to play. You can play it on the computer or more often than not on your mobile phone. And as I mentioned earlier, you can communicate with other players or gamers. Here are some examples of online games: Call of Duty, Mobile Legends, and League of Legends.
That's right! Let us now proceed to the second to the last type of interaction with the internet, which is called the news and the information. In times like these, where many bad things are happening around us, it is very important to properly and responsibly circulate information within the society and the people. Sharing of news and information nowadays has become much easier for us because of the internet. This kind of responsible interaction, which involves exchange of information, giving of reactions, having news on demand, monitoring of views, and etc., is very vital for everyone to learn as we are now living in a modern world where many fake news and infos are prevalent. In this kind of interaction with the internet, we need to be meticulous and wise in determining the relevance and accuracy of the news or info we are going to interact with.
Definitely! Last but not the least are the videos. It is captured and saved digitally or on video cassette software, movie, or other visual media product with moving images with or without audio. In this part, you can choose what adventure you want, or even you can choose what type of multimedia content you are going to do, and other such things like watching an experience game of elements. The examples are videos in YouTube and Netflix movies. And that's all for the different ways of interacting with the internet.
Hi, I'm Hart. Let us now move on to our next topic, which is the types of interactivity and their purposes. For the first type, click on images. The user will be taken to another page on the original website or to a different website entirely by clicking the images. This interactivity will make the site more interesting and well designed. One of the examples for this is the image-based CAPTCHA. It uses image recognition tasks to determine if the user is a human or a robot. To pass that task, the user must press correctly the image indicated in the instructions. Next, hotspot. It is a special region to act as a trigger to another web page. The hotspot could be a circle, triangle, rectangle, or polygon. It is an ideal interactivity to label or identify different elements of a picture or a website. One of the examples is the Google Maps. It is a web mapping platform that offers satellite imagery. When the user presses the map icon, it shows street view, traffic conditions, route for travel, etc. Map icons help users identify the place they are going. Next type is the timeline. It is a menu slide that branches to different events. This interactivity is used to display information that needs to be accessed sequentially. It is used to display time in chronological order, such as hour, day, month, and year. It also presents milestones in evolution, growth, or improvement.
Hi, I'm Simon. As previously mentioned, timeline is a menu slide which branches to different events. Most common examples can be found in social media such as Facebook, which is one of the most used platforms in the internet. It can also be seen on forums like in the following images. Timelines are also used by people to reminisce and commemorate events that have taken place in the past. After that, there is another interactivity known as numbers or processes. Unfortunately, we do not have any visual example for this, but when we say numbers or processes, it refers to the number of clicks and the time spent in an interactive data function, which provides points and such. A few examples could be those mini-games on sites where you keep clicking and reach a specific count to earn rewards and so on. Lastly, we have flip cards, which are practically just cards that display information when flipped. This type of interactive can often be seen for online draws and possibly giveaways and website campaigns and such. It can be seen on apps as well and games like in the following images. Briefly, each of these cards contain different data or information within them, and it may only be revealed depending on which card the user will select. And that's it for the types of interactivity and their purposes. We may now proceed on to the next reporters.
Good day, I'm Angel, and for the last topic for the manipulative media is all about the emerging interactive media. It is the evolution of utilizing technology to share information or ideas and communicate in innovative ways. Whether we like it or not, the communications world is evolving quickly, and this is having a significant impact on all aspects of the world. We interact with people in the virtual world without being aware of their physical presence, and with the website content when viewing it. I'm sure you must have seen websites where you can watch live or recorded videos or audio files. Through technologies, you can communicate with friends who live in distant locations in a matter of seconds. Examples: interactive television, also known as ITV, a form of media convergence in which data services are added to conventional television technology, allows the viewer to issue commands and receive input information through an electronic system known as set-top box. For you, what distinguishes interactive TV watching from standard TV? So, the term interactive television refers to the technology that combines conventional TV services with data services. Third, webcasting. A webcast is similar to a television or radio program, but it is designed to be transmitted over the internet. This technology works in real time and allows for active interactions between webcasters and their viewers. Recent technological advancements have made this a cost-efficient and effective communication method. People nowadays like visual media content, so by providing both visual and interactive content, you can attract a wide audience. Another significant advantage of webcasting is the opportunity to interact with your audience in real time. By establishing virtual chat rooms, your audience will be able to communicate with one another while also asking you questions, which you can answer without delay. Blogs, short for weblog, is a type of online journal or informative website that displays content in reverse chronological order, with the most recent post appearing first. It is a platform where a writer or even a group of writers may express their thoughts or views on individual subjects. In addition, the primary distinction between a blog and a vlog is that a vlog is similar to a website from which we can obtain written content on any topic. A vlog, on the other hand, posts videos about specific subjects which are trendy habits nowadays. Lastly, gaming, an act of playing video games, whether on consoles, computers, cell phones, or another medium entirely. It is a nuanced concept that implies frequent gameplay, probably as a hobby. While gaming has historically been a solitary form of entertainment, online multiplayer video games have made it a common community activity as well. Gaming has had many golden ages, each of which was thought to be the pinnacle of its success. However, as new technology and games evolve, the number of people who play games has gradually increased. All of this is happening as a result of digitally powered emerging media. Traditional media outlets are now incorporating emerging media to create a modern user experience. Communication via new media is the next big thing we'll see.
After the reporting, students happily left the classroom and went home. Miss Bevs is really satisfied on how her students discussed the flow of the lesson. She thought that her students really prepared for their presentation. And that, my friends, is the end of the story.